So this one we have not done in class, so let's have a look at what the text says. So this is a simple extraction where I want to send in some beans, where I want to extract some oil from them, and I want to use, I think it's hexane. Yes, I want to use hexane in order to extract the oils from those beans. I lead that mixture onto my filter, and in that filter I'm gonna remove, I'm gonna remove some filter cakes or some solid materials, and finally I want to take all of my hexane that I've paid a lot of money for. I want to evaporate it, reuse it, and have this cycle going, and hopefully have completely pure oil exiting. Now we're getting a lot of bonus informations in this one, but we're gonna try and set it up. So we'll start just with the drawing and the information we have from the drawing. And as you can see here, I have decided to name the different streams, not stream 1, 2, 3, 4, but basically what they are. So for instance, I have my stream of fresh hexane. So hopefully, since I'm paying for it, hopefully that's gonna be pure hexane. In the feed into my extractor, again, I would hope that that's just pure hexane. Let's just crop that a bit. There we go. Then I have my beans, and then I need the information about my beans. So let's go back to the assignment, read what does it say about the beans. Actually, I'm just gonna do like this, so now I can see it and you can't, haha. So my beans would contain 13% oil, and the rest would be solids. So 1 minus the 13%, there's no hexane in my beans. Then I mix it all together. At that point, I don't know what the compositions are. So I'm gonna say no idea for those two. The final one, 1 minus the sum of the others, like we normally do. In my filter cake, do I know anything about that? Let's have a look. I know that my filter cake contains 70% solids. So that means this must be equal to 1 minus the sum of the two others. But that also means that this one, I don't know right now. No idea what it is. After my filter, hopefully I've been able to remove all of the solids. So that means I only have one unknown, and that would be, I'm just gonna pick the oil as being my unknown here. And finally, over here, I want pure oil exiting that stream, and I want pure hexane in my recycle stream. So that's what I'm being told in terms of compositions. Then I start to look at what do I know in terms of the masses that I might want to send into this. And I need to figure out how much hexane I need if I want to process 500 kilograms of beans. So we jump over here, find our bean stream, and we say that needs to contain 500 kilograms. Do we know anything else? We don't know anything else about masses, so for now we're just gonna say these are unknowns, these are unknowns, and all of these I want to calculate by multiplying percentage with total mass, fill right and down, and then we have to start setting up our mass balances. Oh, this is gonna be tricky. Let's see if I can make this a bit smaller. Hopefully you can still see what's going on. But in this case, I would be able to set up a balance for my mix point here, for my extractor, for my filter and my evaporator, and for my entire system. So let us do that. We have our system, we have our mix, we have our extractor, we have our filter, and we have our evaporator. And for all of those, I could set up balances for the total mass, for the oil, solids, or hexane. We're just gonna focus on the total for now. Anything in chat? Nope, everything's fine. Total, let's look here. I have one stream entering, that's my fresh hexane. So that's that one, fresh hexane. I have beans entering, so where's my bean stream? That's there. And what streams do I have that are exiting? I have two streams. I have my filter cake, that's the cake stream, and I have my oil stream. Those two should exit my system. That's the balance for the entire system. For my mix point here, I have my fresh feed entering. I have my recycle stream, so the one that goes here has to go in there as well. And finally, I want to subtract what I call my feed. So that's my feed to my extractor. There we go. Balance for the extractor. Well, my feed stream enters, my bean stream enters, and my, hang on, why did I call that mix? Yeah, what can we call that? Let's call it I can't spell now. Extract. There we go. And did I do that right? That plus that minus that. Yes. For my filter, I have my extract stream entering, and I have my cake and my filtrate exiting. For my evaporator, I have my filtrate entering, and I have my oil and my recycle stream exiting. And these I can fill to the right. So before we go over there, how many unknowns do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I count 11 unknowns. And then we need to look at how many different equations we can use. So like normally, we're gonna remove, where is it? There, we're gonna remove one row. We're gonna remove one column. And then we start to look at what is possible. For my mix point here, it's pure hexane in all of the streams. So we have the exact same problem as in the last assignment, same concentration, pure hexane. So I can only use one of my equations. Oh, no. So there, in my extractor, I can use all of them. In my filtrate, I can use all of them. In my evaporator, well, in my evaporator, I have another problem, and that is that I don't have any solids present, right? So I can't use this one either. I'm just going to remove that. It's going to be fine because it's going to be 0 no matter what I do. But just to do it correctly, I'm going to remove that as well. No solids in this part of the system. Making a solids balance doesn't make sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So right now I have 9 equations, leaving me with 2 degrees of freedom. I need to find some extra information. So I go back to the description and I say, okay, what information have I not used? Well, for instance, I know that the ratio in the feed to the extractor here is 3 kilograms of hexane for every kilogram of beans. So let's try and put that. Actually, can we copy that? Let's try. Let's try and see if we can put this into an equation. So that's gonna be my bonus 1. So how do we do this? Well, basically it means that if I take my mass of beans and multiply it by 3, I need 3 times as much hexane. So if I take the mass of my beans and multiply it by 3, and I subtract the amount of hexane that is, let's make sure it's the right one, fed into my extractor, if that gives me 0, then I am happy. We can just test it here. So I know I have 500 kilograms, so I know that if I have 1,500 kilograms of hexane, that equation should give me 0. It does. Perfect. I wrote it correctly. Yay! I'm now down to 1 degree of freedom. Let's move that down here. We use this to get here. And then we need another information. What other information do we have? Here. The stream of filter cake is wetted with a mix of oil and hexane, and analysis shows contains 75 weight % solids, balanced bean and oil hexane, and those two have to be in the same ratio as the stream exiting over here. Okay, how do we set that up? Well, we can look, where is it? Bonus 2. So what is the ratio of oil to hexane in this outcoming stream? Well, that would be the mass of oil in my filtrate in relation to the amount of hexane, and I want to compare it to the ratio in my filter cake. So I just want to subtract, and we go to my cake and say I want the oil over hexane in that one. And Excel gets very unhappy and says you're not allowed to divide by 0. Luckily we can solve that. We put in some dummy values, so these are not incorrect value, or sorry, these are incorrect values. I'm putting in values that are in the area of what could make sense. So it would be somewhere between 0 and 1 for the percentages. I have 500 kilograms, so I'm just guessing ballpark it's gonna be that sort of area. Okay, that's just to avoid having the error that it divided with 0. So now I have 2 bonus equations that hopefully gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 unknowns, 11 equations, 0 degrees of freedom. I should be able to solve it using solver. And how am I gonna do this easily? I am gonna ask solver to set that equation to a value of 0, set all of those equations to a value of 0, set all of those equations to a value of 0, and set that one to a value of 0. So all of the equations that are not colored red have to give me 0, and Excel can change all of the lovely cells over here, and fingers crossed, might not work. I know this one can be a bit tricky for Excel to get right. Oh dear, it's taking a long time. Solver found a solution. Are we happy with the solution? Let's see. All of my equations give me close to 0. The masses, they are all positive. The percentages all look fine. So at this point I can say I've now solved the system of equations. I was asked, what was the question? How much fresh hexane must be supplied? And we just go to our fresh and say, well, I need to supply 138.9, so 139 kilograms of hexane for every, I think was it on an hour basis or day basis? Day basis. So every day I need to buy 139 kilograms of fresh hexane, and it will leave me with 59 kilograms of oil.